And then the other thing is that KP George was also doing that scheme. And so he's getting prosecuted, and in an act of desperation, he's switching parties to the Republicans.
Yes.
So now we have by the grace of God, it's like a Hail Mary pass.
Right, that's exactly
We
what it
have
is.
a 3-2 Republican majority in Fort Bend right now. Yes. So what we can do, we can put together a map that is 3 Republicans.
Come on now.
1 Democrat.
Come on now.
And end the lawlessness.
Come on. Look at God.
End the insanity. What we can do, 3 Republicans, 1 Democrat. Would the Democrats wouldn't do that to us? No, they'd play fair. Yeah, right. The Democrats go for the jugular.
They would stomp
Will
us
the
down.
Republicans do it? 3R to 1D. And in doing so, we can give the new Fort Bend County judge the pathway to fix the debt problem in Fort Bend County. Right. Ball's in our court. Tamara, what's up?
Okay, well said. So I just want to point out that when the Democrats redistricted in 2021, those were illegal maps. Now, what we're doing here, it is completely legal to draw maps based on political lines. And of course, Republicans are saying, while we have a majority, let's get the 3-1 map.
Yes.
Now, from what I understand, the map, the original map that everybody liked was called the city map, which did give us 3-1, but the margins
Okay,
were
real quick. City map 3-1. What does
Republican.
that mean?
So
3
3
R's to 1
Republican
Democrat is
precincts.
called the city map.
Where's
Yeah.
that map at?
So if
Yeah.
we could please, going forward, so we say, let's keep this. Whenever we say the word city map or the other maps, we always say 3R, 1D.
Republican.
We always have to say that. Okay, go ahead.
You got it. So city map that was proposed, the original one, map 1, had 3 Republican precincts and 1 Democrat precinct. However, this is based on composite data using multiple elections, and the margins here are very slim on those 3 precincts. And there, the charter that was given to the redistricting committee by the commissioners' court. So the commissioners created a charter, and Andy didn't want to do to Democrats.
Real quick. The county commissioners, what they did, they created a redistricting committee to advise them on the different options on a map. And then every county commissioner was able to appoint 1 person to this redistricting committee, correct?
2, I
2
believe,
points.
yes.
2 people.
Are we allowed to know who's on that committee?
Yes. So there's, Jacob Lee.
May I ask one question? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So does the county judge also get to appoint people?
I believe so. That
So
part
then it's 10 people on this committee.
there's 10. I know that
Okay.
there's 10 people on this committee. I know that the chairman is Jacob Lee. Then we've got Wendy Duncan, who was appointed by, so Jacob Lee was appointed by Andy Myers. Wendy Duncan was appointed by Vincent Morales. And then the rest of the,
Wendy Duncan, the one we were speaking about earlier, correct?
yes.
Okay, Wendy
my-
Duncan, the woman who is the director of the association, the president of the Association for Waterboard Development, is also.
Also on the committee for
Yeah,
redistricting.
she was appointed by Vincent Morales for this redistricting committee.
Wow.
Intriguing.
I'm not sure what her.
Very powerful woman.
Yes, I'm not sure what her experience with maps is, but nevertheless, she's on the committee. Now, I can speak to the map that she submitted was the WDRY map. Now, Republicans were really upset by this map because it essentially gave Democrats almost a 3-1 advantage.
Wait, but
Three
she was
precincts.
appointed by Vincent Morales.
Yes.
Okay, so she was appointed by a Republican.
Yes.
Okay, so she might be conservative Republican,
I'm not sure what her political
but
persuasion is. But
she knows how to read and create maps, and she brought a map of her own. This is what you're saying to me, that she brought a map of her own that favored the Democrats. So it was 3
It
Democrat, 1 Republican, and
It absolutely favors the Democrat.
Interesting.
It gives 2 absolute Democrat precincts and only 1 Republican precinct, and the 4th one would be a toss-up. Really.
Why would she do that if she's appointed by a Republican?
Well, this is the question that everybody was asking. And
So Wendy Duncan, okay, let's just step back. She is the director of the Association for Waterboard Directors, right?
Right.
She's the president of the Association for Waterboard Directors, which has a influence over our dozens of municipal utility district.
Right. Mud.
And then in addition to that, she's given this pivotal position to decide our political future, have a considerable influence on our political future by drawing these maps up.
right.
And she's appointed by a Republican, Vincent Morales. And of course, we're all expecting her to do the right thing. And she goes in and she proposes a heavily favored Democrat map.
Exactly. Yes. This is definitely, I mean, you can't argue this is a Democrat favored map that was proposed by Wendy Duncan. Now, thankfully, that map has been voted out by the committee, and I'm really grateful for that because
But it's interesting she exposed her hand
Yeah,
that
but
way.
by
'cause-
Very
doing that, what she does is she sets the negotiation. She sets the tone of the negotiations.
Yeah.
So when you have the Republicans going in, and they have a 3R 1D map, and the Republican appointee goes in and says, "I want a 3D 1R map,"
1R.
immediately the 3R 1D map is off the table. Because you have to move to the center because now you have a liability on your team that you have to compensate for. So what she essentially did, she did a considerable contribution to the Democrats of Fort Bend County.
Yeah, she just did.
That was
I can say that in the committee and in the public hearings, all the Democrats were favoring the WD Wendy Duncan map.
Of course.
So
Why wouldn't they?
You know, that was another sign that this was definitely a map favoring Democrats.
Is it possible to shoot for 3R 1D and then maybe possibly settle for a lesser one? Or, I mean, is that possible? Like shoot for the stars,
So-
right? And then we still win. You don't
Well,
understand what I'm saying?
And this is exactly what Republicans should be doing when they have a majority.
Oh, yeah, that's what I would think.
There's nothing unethical about, drawing political lines. However, the commissioners voted on a charter that was given to the redistricting committee where Andy Myers is a good man. He's
Yes,
a
he
good
is.
commissioner. And he didn't want to do to the other commissioners what they did to him.
Why not?
Well, because being a conservative is not a political party; it's a way of life,
Right.
And we don't want to do unethical things.
When you have the Democrats spending like drunken sailors, when for the past 2 years they've told us how to live our lives in the bedroom, when they're sending in the most egregious materials into our children's in schools and corrupting their minds, you take an active stance against them.
You gotta take authority.
Name one thing that the Texas Democrats are bringing to the American people that is of value.
Right.
Name one.
They've harmed
They are
us.
bringing
They've
nothing
harmed
to
us.
us of value. They are the enemy within the gates.
Absolutely.
They are the Trojan horse here to rot us from the inside out, and it's
Absolutely.
working. No,
we got to take authority.
I mean,
and they're
this is-
hurting the children.
It's like when dad comes home, right? Everybody starts getting in line, right? But dad means authority. So we have to take authority because they have harmed us.
Yes.
We cannot allow them to have authority over our children, over our voters, over anybody anymore. So we have to come in and say, we got to clean this up.
We
Right.
just had Kenneth Amori on talking about the state of debt in Fort Bend County and what it's doing to our
Shocking.
senior citizens.
Yes.
Shocking.
Our senior citizens are being threatened out of their homes. And Andy doesn't want to take an aggressive stance against the Democrats because it's not the right thing to do.
And I get it.
That is not acceptable.
Christian doesn't mean weak, though. Like, we're conservatives, right? I'm a conservative Republican as well, very conservative. But there is a time to fight. And that time is now when we have the majority. We have to be smart.
Fort Bend County is turning into Houston. You go into downtown Houston.
You don't want that.
You smell urine.
Yeah.
You're stepping over homeless. How many dead bodies in Houston in the past week?
22, not in the past week, they
Brazos.
found 5 in the bayou, but 22 total.
And it's the Democrats.
Right.
When Houston was run by Republicans, it was solvent. It was decent. It was family oriented.
Civil.
And now this is bleeding into Fort Bend County
And our
when we're
surrounding
seeing the
areas.
homeless out everywhere. We had Greg Barnes on talking about Helping Hands, about how his organization is overwhelmed with helping the impoverished in Fort Bend County.
Mm-hmm.
The agenda should always be the citizen first.
Right.
We're only as strong as our weakest link. And what does that
Absolutely.
mean? It means our people that are impoverished. The goal should be to get them out of poverty,
Yes.
and not be honorable and reach across the aisle to the party on the other side.
I will say this, that even the 3 Republican, 1 Democrat map doesn't give us enough of a percentage advantage to secure those precincts.
Okay, but we're in the Trump MAGA era. In 2020, Trump got 38% of the black minority vote.
And 55%
It's
in
over.
Texas for the
It's
Hispanic
game
vote.
over.
That's right.
Go talk to Pakistanis about
Yes.
who they're voting for. Go talk to
Yes.
our ethnic minorities. Talk to our Cubans, our Vietnamese, our
Yes.
Chinese. The Democrats propose themselves as the bold defender of the small guy, of the minority.
Right.
And that is falling through
And people
like
are
a lead
seeing
weight.
it, though. They're bleeding and hemorrhaging members in the Democratic Party. People are waking up big time. I think what people are really tired of seeing in the Republican Party is the weakness. They're tired of that because Trump is not weak. When you see Trump, it's like, oh, that's daddy right there.
That's right.
He's the one that's saying law and order. He's trying to set things aright. But the Republicans are like, well, you know, we want to be fair. And that continues that political theater that the people are tired of being stuck in the middle
right.
of. They're tired of the blaming on the left, blaming on the right, and still nothing's done in the middle. That's what people are sick of.
Right. Well, I will say that Fort Bend County, the needle is moving to the right.
It has to.
2024 was amazing because
Yes.
of Trump.
Yeah, I want to say, whenever we get in these situations where we're about to spike the ball in the end zone and win the game, you know, it's like a WWE skit, right? They go, the bad guy's on his back and they count 1, 2, and at the last minute they pull him up and he gets his shoulder off.
Right.
They have to keep the Democrats alive to keep the circus act going.
Right.
Okay? And so, you know, so what you have is you have these Republicans who don't want to finish this game. We had the ball in the end zone. Wendy Duncan shows up and gives a 3D1R map.
Yes.
Other people don't want to vote because it's not the right thing to do. Give me a break.
Now, I will say, so both the WD Wendy Duncan map has been
It's
voted
out.
out by the committee.
It's not a thing.
And as far as I think I looked at the votes, you know, she didn't vote for this map in the end, the amendment to the map in the end. So that's good because we've got the Wendy Duncan map is out. The city map is out because our Republican percentages were not strong enough in those three. We couldn't get there. And there's a lot of non-political considerations.
Okay, what's the city map? What's that one?
That's
Okay,
the
so the
3-1.
city map was the 3
3R.
Republican, 1, well, 3 Republican,
Yeah,
1
I'm
Democrat.
going to question that. But the
Very
other thing I want to say
slim.
real quick is that whenever we're about to win, what the establishment Republican does, they
Come
say,
on
oh,
now.
it's too risky. Too risky. Pull it back a little bit. You know, and I
Well,
mean, I like risk.
I'm a former auditor. I'll tell you, when I'm looking at these percentages, when you've got 50%, so one of the precincts is 50.07% Republican, 51.25% Republican. In a slight blue wave, we are
There's
now.
no blue waves coming. Joe
But-
Biden's gone.
You end
Barack
up-
Obama's gone.
But we're not securing a precinct at all. So
They're
what-
saying that the percentages are too low. Okay.
to ever secure that.
Because that's not like a definite Republican stronghold.
Exactly. So none of those the 3R 1D map, none of them
The
was
numbers
strong
have
enough.
been wrong, though. The numbers have been wrong, and the reason why I say that is because the tide is changing. I don't think that Republicans often factor in the fact that millennials are the largest voting base right now, and Gen Z is really catching up right now, and they are not taking into consideration this group of people and how they think.
Right.
This is a group of people that want things like the 90s. Okay. In the 90s, I think we had Bush and then Bill Clinton kind of thing. That's kind of their mindset going into stuff. They want things to go back to a time where we all told the truth, where things were more authentic, where people were real with each other. And so when it comes to stuff like this, like the political stuff, we have to be able to relate it to them in a way that they understand, right? And so when they hear that, okay, we want a Republican stronghold in this area, that might seem like foreign to them, but we have to, as Republicans, we have to take into account that even though our voters are they're older, okay, boomers and all of that, the millennial and the Generation Z are voting, okay? Yeah. And so they don't want to vote Democrat because they see what the Democrat Party is doing.
I don't see the Democrat Party is dying on a
They're
vine.
dead.
They are yesterday's news. They're well entrenched and they know how to pull out a victory here and there.
Right.
But generally speaking, they have no momentum.
They're done.
Well, redistricting won't take place again till 2031, and I think that they're looking at the long game.
Ooh.
Okay, the redistricting committee is looking at the long game as well.
Yes.
And with these margins on the 3 Republican, 1 Democrat map, they're just not that strong. And I looked at the model myself, and I have to agree that we could end up losing 4
I don't
to
believe it.
nothing. Now, when we look at the 2 maps that got advanced by the redistricting committee,
Yes.
we've got the Mike Gibson map, which is a solid 2-2. So both the Republicans and the Democrats get a solid 2 precinct.
And the
2 precinct.
Democrats.
And one of the reasons the charter that was put forward to the redistricting committee
Yes.
had resolutions that, elected officials would not be moved or unseated by this redistricting. There's other considerations that are
Okay.
non-political.
We have to cover that.
Okay.
So the charter given by the county commissioners to the redistricting committee is that what they try to do to Andy Myers cannot be done again.
That's right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
No. The voter should always be. Why are we putting the county commissioners in the top seat? The objective, the goal should always be the voter, the
Yes,
citizen,
it's
the
the people.
resident. The objective should be, to the redistricting committee should be, we want what's best for the people.
Right.
Right.
But no, what they did is they put them in front. No, we want to make sure that the county commissioners keep their spots. It's a political mess and nightmare in Fort
I
Bend.
think the thinking there too was the people voted in those commissioners, even though they were illegal maps.
I was going to say the maps were illegal.
I know.
So much was caught up in that.
I understand, but I think that if they unseat a commissioner, the perception to the voters that voted him in would not be good. But nevertheless, that was the charter. It's kind of like a jury following the rules of the court, right?
Yes.
Or the rules that they're given.
Well, what it is, it's the King's Court's putting the King's Court first. That's what it is.
Well, regardless,
Don't comment.
I will say that the two maps that have been advanced,
Yes.
it's the How People Voted map, Amendment D,
Oh, okay.
which got seven votes because one of the Democrats voted the extra point for it because I think it's a little less advantageous to the Republicans. And then the Mike Gibson map. That is the one that the chairman of the Fort Bend GOP is recommending, and that's a solid 2-2, and it has the least amount of problems. The least amount of elected officials are going to get. No one gets disrupted. Major projects that are happening in different precincts will not get disrupted
They have
as much.
look,
jobs.
They
jobs.
had the opportunity to go
Chairman of
3-1.
Portland County?
Yes.
They had the opportunity to go
Bobby
3-1.
Bobby Everly. Okay.
Yes.
that's
Bobby
who-
Everly, right? They had the opportunity to go 3-1, and now they have 1,000,001 reasons why they can't go 3-1.
There's multiple factors.
Yeah,
But
all of a
again-
sudden, the Democrats are evil eye focused. We're going to go 3-1 come hell or high water.
See, we're
When
wanting
it's
to go for the
Republicans- Yeah, when it's Republicans, this, that, and the other.
I mean, when I look at this city map that was 3 Republican, 1 Democrat, I have to say it's pretty much just 1-1, and the other 2 are a toss-up. It's too close of a margin.
That's kind of risky.
It's risky. So, I understand.
That one advanced?
Well, you can see, I mean, when you've got just 50%, 50.07% Republican and 51.25%, the margin's so slim that you're not guaranteeing
call
that
it.
precinct. Right now, what we have is 2 guaranteed precincts for each part. We've got 2 guaranteed Democrat and pretty much 2 guaranteed Republican. I'm not saying it's ideal, but there's so many layers to these maps that we can't possibly understand. They've been working on this for a month or 2. So, the Mike Gibson map is the one that got 6 votes out of the redistricting committee that is being recommended by Bobby Eberly, has the least amount of issues for Republicans.
So who is this okay, so this is going to be advantageous for our side, the
Definitely,
Republican Party.
definitely. Because we're going right now, the current maps are a solid 3 Democrat, 1 Republican.
As
And-
it is now.
As it is now.
Okay.
And so the chances of Andy Myers winning his seat again are, again, less than 10%. The chances of a new candidate winning Precinct 3 are next to 0 right now with the current maps. With the new maps that have been advanced, the
Yes.
2 that have been advanced, it is almost a certainty that a Republican will win Precinct 1 and 3, and a Democrat will win 2 and 4. So it is a big improvement.
So the GOP strategy is to advance these 2 maps that they feel most likely will help us at least keep what we have as far as our commissioners go and
That's
things
right.
of that nature.
That is
interesting.
correct. Yes.
Interesting.
And secure that until the next redistricting, which would be
2030.
2031. So really, it's up to Republicans to get out and vote and make sure that we get the county judge seat, right? That's where we get our majority. We have to win that county judge seat. And that just takes every Republican getting out to vote and voting all the way down the ballot, the whole ballot. Just vote straight ticket Republican.
Here's what one person said, quote, "I'm not sure why no Republican on the advisory board submitted 2 strong Rs and 1 good margin R map. It would have been ideal, but apparently there were other complications."
Yes, I agree with that. There are other considerations That would mean moving elected officials, moving Republican officials, lots of job loss, lots of disruption. There's many layers to these maps that, I really dove in and tried to understand. And I can honestly say I wouldn't be comfortable with the 3 Republican one unless they came with better numbers. But apparently they can't get there, right? They could not get better margins than 50.07 and 51.25. So really, in a slight blue wave, we stand to lose all 4.
But again, Tamara, I'm going to say, where's the slight blue wave coming from?
I agree.
I mean, where is that in the future? There is no blue wave. They are a dead party. They're a
Right.
dying party.
There's actually really been a shift. Especially as a conservative, I've kind of been watching the walk away from the Democrat thing lately,
Yes.
especially after Charlie Kirk. There were a lot of people that woke up to kind of their ideology, the direction that they were going.
The propaganda.
They're like waking up from this stupor, right? And they're saying, I was wrong.
It's mass hypnosis.
It was mass hypnosis, It was like a big psychological, and I call it sorcery, but it was a psychological tactic by the left. And they have had these people under a spell for so long, and they're waking up. There really is no blue wave that's going to happen.
I hope not.
don't foresee Democrats doing much of anything. They still don't even understand why they lost the last election.
Right.
You know that?
And those
I think they're scared. I think I mean, you never count them out, but they are in a bad way right now.
Yeah, they are. There's no ability to see their own faults.
But
They don't have that.
The voters themselves that identified as Democrat, I truly believe that most of us are conservatives.
Right.
And like I said before, that's not a political party. That's
No.
just a way of life.
It's a way of life.
You live within your means. You want faith and freedom and family
Right.
and all the good things. And so those people that thought they were Democrats are starting to see the light and come
Right.
over to the right side.
Well,
So-
a lot of them are independents now. I've been seeing a
Yes.
lot of them like they're kind of doing
They
this
won't say
well.
Democrat.
Yeah, they won't say I'm a Republican. They're scared to go there, but they're like independents now. But at the same time, right? I think that we have to go for the jugular as Republicans because we never do. And there's just this known but not really talked about so much. It's mentioned every now and again, this weakness in our party, okay? We are conservative, but that doesn't mean that we're weak. We need to take authority over the devil because the left has shown us that they are in lockstep with Lucifer. You don't attack children and groom them through the library, their form of research, through their teachers. You don't
And the
do
gender
this,
sex clubs,
right?
yeah.
And say that you're a conservative. You can't be a conservative and do that.
No.